I was working at a place called R&M Manufacturing, and I was dating a girl by the name of Leslie, and she had turned me on to some meth, and the feeling I got off of it, I mean, like at first, I didn't go to sleep. If you drink beer, you can drink twice as much. If you're partying, you can have a good time all night. It gave me a lot of energy, and I thought, man, you know what? This is good stuff. A guy can make some money with that because I work night shift. And all the guys, I start selling them just small amounts. By the time payday rolled around, they was giving me most of their check. I was diming it up, starting out with a gram. It cost me $25. And by the time the end of the week rolled around, I would get $400 in return. $400 was a big thing for me back in that day. It was a lot of money. Fort Dodge was kind of a rough, tough town, and drinking and fighting went hand in hand. It was crazy. One night, Rick, my best friend, and I were out bar hopping. When we come up to a bar named Krinnigan's, some guys were walking out. They had guns. They pulled them out immediately as soon as they seen me and Rick. It was just so fast. Rick got hit. I kind of grabbed him. My hand actually went into the wound. He was dead then because it went right through the heart. I felt pretty bad about that. You know, it took me a while to get over it. But it just made me want to be a Grim Reaper that much more because Rick gave his life for it. And he believed in Brotherhood, and he was there because of that. I doubled down on it, club. And I moved to Minneapolis and become the president of the Grim Reapers. But I wanted to go further. I met a Hell's Angel that was just got out of prison. His name was Gramps, Roger Sheehan. He sold methamphetamine to me. We become pretty good friends. And not only that, he really wanted me to be a Hell's Angel. And I thought about it, and the Hells Angels were the club. I wanted to be just like that. I said, that's where I'm going. It took a year to patch over. We wasn't members yet, but we was being brought up for members.
They've got this whole system whereby if you're prospecting for the club, they have a number of tests. And so some of those tests include ingesting drugs, you know, because a law enforcement officer is not going to ingest drugs. And some of those tests involve throwing women at prospects.
Thunder was the president of the North Carolina chapter. And he called one night and said, Pat, I want you to go to the club and pick up my girl and bring her back and then call me. So I brought her back, and he said, you got her there now? And I said, yeah. He said, now punch her in the fucking mouth for me. So I punched her in the mouth. And they said, now f her. Well, I had to follow through on that too.
The Hells Angels are notorious misogynists. Women, you know, be crass, are passed around like bike parts. Certain groups will call them pass-arounds. They're sheep. They're there to service the club's agenda. They are essentially objects.
It made me stop and think, what did I get into? I thought, God, you know, I can't back up. Or otherwise I wasn't going to be a Hell's Angel, and I wasn't going to stop that for nothing. We became Hell's Angels in September 18th, 1982. I mean, we were so happy. I can't even tell you how I felt. I'll never forget it as long as I live. When I opened up the charter in '82, it also opened up opportunities selling methamphetamine. Hell's Angels don't burn people on drugs. You know what? They just don't. It's bad business. So during that time, business started to expand. In the '70s, methamphetamine, no matter what you got caught with, it was only a 5-year sentence. With Reagan in office, it went from a Class B drug to a Class A. Well, the difference in that is it could be 25 years, could be life. As time went on, you had to get smarter because times were changing. Yeah, I had one incident where I went down in Charlotte, North Carolina, and a friend of mine named Billy West, a ballsy guy, you know, and he had what he called a booster vest that had a sewn pocket all the way around his. I said, well, how are we going to get it back? He said, we're going to fly it back. The 3 pounds were on my buddy Billy West's vest, and I thought, well, I'm going to go to jail with him anyway. We grabbed a plane and flew back to Minnesota. We got away with that, and I look back and I laugh at it, but it wouldn't have been too funny if I got caught. So I established a way of getting it to Minnesota where I didn't even have to leave the state. I had it flown in by a personal pilot, and after I picked up the dope, got it where I wanted to put it, I went back with the money. It was very smooth.
He ran the state of Minnesota with an iron glove. A lot of clubs stayed out of the state of Minnesota because they know he was a no-around guy. He was a mood swing guy, you know? I remember one time we were in a bathroom. They had a little bag of speed, and they're taking little bumps off of it. And I didn't do it. I've never done it. Pat walks over and he pokes a knife in the bag and goes, here, sniff this. You know, and he puts it up to my face. I turned my head. I said, oh, I don't want to, you know? And he says, hey, do this or I swear to God, I'll stab you. I said, stab me. He just sniffed it up, and then he looked at me and he goes, you know what, Charlie, you sure you don't work for the police?
When you're dealing methamphetamine, naturally you're always looking over your shoulder, but I had a circle that was so tight, and it was all bikers, that I never had to deal with John Q. Citizen. It was somebody I knew and I trusted, so I was kind of buried in there like a tick. I did it relatively fast, from $400 a week to probably $3 million a year selling methamphetamine. I never had no fear of nothing at the time. I don't know why. That's why I was good at it.